I absolutely love that there is a natural way to be able to relax, but you know what? Sometimes my wallet doesn't love it, but luckily Value Sesh is there for you because you can sesh for less with their rabbit hole gummies. They are packed with D9. You can get that relaxing feeling without killing your bank account. You know what? Tony tried these himself. He absolutely loved them. We cannot wait to try them, but you can try them at even further of a discount than what they normally are at. If you use the code SCAREDY at valuesesh.com, you can get 25% off of this and be able to relax with the Scaredy crew. So make sure to go get yours. And you know what? We're going to tell you what we think. So make sure to let us know what you think in the comments.
You feeling kinda scared in here?
Hold up.
Beat slicing ear to ear.
Show enough.
Prepare for fear, we hear it last. Welcome to the Scaredycast. By the time you scream, it'll be too late. We got the paranormal vibes filling up your plate. Turn up the volume, maybe pull the cover over your head. And don't listen to this podcast before you go to bed, cause I warned you. Now you're cautious peeping around the corners. Scared of ghosts, cryptids, and zombies coming for you, and I'm here to welcome you into a new era. Nothing can prepare you for Scaredycast reign of terror. True crimes, haunted happenings, spooky sightings. Always unpredictable, yet always exciting. And yes, it's guaranteed to be a bloody mess, and I can't be responsible for what happens next. Scaredycast. We're quenching your morbid curiosity. Constantly scared of a Jesus out of me. Holding you tight and not letting go. You'll be dying for new episodes. If it's scary, then you know you'll find it here. Your new home for everything you should fear. Grab a hold to anyone you hold dear, cause it's getting really spooky in here. Scaredycast.
Hey, welcome to Scaredycast. Isn't this a weird looking episode? We're not in our studio. Where are we?
We're in the Sheraton in Mesa.
We're at the Artist Assemble Horror Fest in Mesa.
Oh.
We're hanging out, having a good time all weekend long with some fine folks.
This is day 3. We just gave out all the candy there was a little trick or treat thingy where little kids got to go around and to all the little vendor tables. And of course, we were the cool table that had the full-size candy bars because we're not just going to give out Smarties.
You guys
and
know us.
Dumb lollipops. We got a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
We're the cool kids. We're the cool house.
We're not doing dots and Tootsie Rolls at our table.
Guess what else we had?
What did we have?
Chips. We had Doritos. We had Lay's. It was like, you get your chips. You get your full-size candy bars.
Bang.
And you get some good little banter.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, you get to see me in leggings because I'm wearing leggings currently.
Brian's wearing some creep show leggings that you can see on, I don't know.
You can see everything in
these. You
these.
see a lot. Maybe a little too much.
Hey, easy.
But anyways, we also were at Days of the Dead in Atlanta last weekend where, dude, Mira Sorvino is on Scaredycast.
That's weird. That's so weird. I mean, it's cool, but it's so weird. Like,
Bro,
I just can't even.
It's, like...
Especially you, because you were a little bit older than me, so I just missed
how
impactful she was. You know, it's like I couldn't really appreciate it until later. But you, I mean, that's got to be weird.
I was
to look
there.
At, like, whoa.
I was there for Romeo and Michelle's release.
For me, it was like sitting next to Bill Duke.
I was there
for Predator. I was like, oh my God, this is real life.
Dude, we sat next to Kane Hodder all weekend. Bill Duke sat next to us.
You son of a bitch.
Just like all these childhood icons are today icons.
All these people were bringing in like super sick Predator stuff to get signed by Bill Duke, so that was cool to see like posters and like different toys and shirts that I've never seen before, because obviously, if you know me, you know I love Predator. Also, I have a second set of leggings. That's Alien vs. Predators. I just want to throw that in there too.
Here at Artist Assemble, we're sitting across from Laurence Mason and Rochelle Davis, who you guys know from The Crow. Laurence Mason played Tintin.
Do the lines.
I don't want to do it. I can't do the line when he's standing right there.
No, do it.
He's right there looking at me right now, and I'm freaking out.
If you just do it, it's fine.
Laurence Mason's walking. We are live. We'll grab that microphone and take a seat. You can jump right on with us.
He does this thing.
We were talking
your lines.
We got to get you in here. Get him on here. Oh my goodness.
He doesn't remember.
He doesn't remember. I'll remind you because I watched The Crow God knows how many times.
This is Laurence Mason.
We were
live
on our way home last night, and I looked at him and I said,
"What's the name of this play? I forgot already."
Scaredycast.
Scaredycast. Laurence Mason on Scaredycast.
We were sitting at a red light last night, and I looked at him and I said, The fuck you all painted up for, crackhead? Halloween ain't till mañana.
That's it.
And I was like, God
You did it perfectly.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were just like, oh my God, if we could hear him just say that.
My parents owned a video store when I was a kid. So it was just like my childhood was just watching The Crow.
We got
and
the next
just,
Tarantino here.
Oh, God. I wish. I tried.
He tried.
Hello. Oh, I love that phone case. That's amazing. But yeah, I was just Scaredycast. I was just watching like The Crow and Bad Boys and Clerks and Pulp Fiction when I was way too young to be watching any of it.
They used to, man.
Yeah, man.
What's some of your favorite movies?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Bad Boys.
good.
Yeah, I could tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
The reason I got into show business was because of the Warriors.
The Warriors. Yeah. Yeah, man.
And to be able to work with Jason Patrick Kelly on
Yeah.
The Crow was like a dream come true.
Oh, God. I can imagine. Like,
I mean, to be in the gang finally. I mean, I was like 10 when it came out, so
dude.
finally joined the gang. So there's a lot of that. That's why I wore the vest in The Crow, was to kind of channel that a bit.
Wow.
One of my favorites.
Was there any, like, did you, like, the first time you met him, whenever you guys were getting ready to shoot, was it, like, just strictly professional, or did you, like, nerd out a little bit? in any
I
way?
never nerd out. No.
No?
I just
Keep it
play
all
cool.
inside?
Yeah, I think
Nice.
celebrities appreciate it when you're just like, hey, what's up, dude? Let's
Yeah.
go to work, you know?
Yeah.
But
Unlike us, we're like,
Unlike us.
I never told them. I'm just telling you guys. Exclusive.
Scaredycast scoop. Hell yeah.
Dude, thanks so much,
thank
man.
you,
Yeah.
Well, you know, a year ago, if you would have told us, hey, you're going to be sitting next to Laurence Mason, he's just going to come over and talk on your podcast, I would be like, you're full of shit.
I'd be like, you're a
But
liar.
that just happened.
You just walked on over, grabbed the mic, and
What's
let
that
you
gonna
guys
be
know.
for someone like you that literally grew up with
Oh
the
my
Crow?
God.
I saw a Crow way later in my life.
Yeah.
But like for you, like as little or seemingly whatever that was, like that just happened.
It's just surreal, dude. Like,
it's like you can't even really process it.
Yeah, it's not even like fully in my brain yet. But later tonight, I'm gonna be sitting at home just
And you're
like,
going through the footage, and you're like, oh.
I'm like, holy shit! Like, I was just a young boy watching The Crow as a child,
Just a little.
asking my friends in middle school, like, what the fuck you all painted up for?
Watching The Crow and asking his friend.
And
what
the
fuck
man
you
himself
painted up
just
for?
sat down with us and talked to us
just said
about
you
it.
did it perfect.
Yeah, I did.
He just said, you did that perfect.
I mean, that's the line I say a lot to a lot of people for no situation at all.
Damn.
Even when like me and my wife are getting ready to go out and she puts on just a little bit of makeup, I'm like, the fuck you all painted up for?
Crackhead. Do you call your wife a crackhead?
She's like, no, I don't. Trying to go out to have a nice dinner, all right? Shoot. But, we just had a short little conversation with Laurence Mason, but we're gonna transition now because
Sorry.
Kelsey talked to Mira Sorvino. Brian talked.
Real quick, I just got a text from Selfie Guy.
That's who I was just about to
From
say. Like,
Terrifier 2, I replied to his story, I fucking miss you, bro, LOL. And he just said, month away, time to party.
that's a great segue. Let's go to your interview with Rick, Selfie Guy from Terrifier 2. You guys
mean Aka, our new best friend?
our new best friend. You guys need to make sure you guys go check out his business, 13X Studios. He
13X
makes
Studios.
Jason masks.
Oh, do you have it here, or did Lucas take
No,
it?
Lucas is wearing it
Well,
around.
his son's got one, and it's like a Punisher Jason mask that is made by Selfie Guy from Terrifier 2. That's a lot to digest. How about we go to the interview?
Go listen to that interview. Then you're going to hear Kelsey talk to Mira Sorvino. What the hell?
Yeah.
Mira Sorvino. Oh, look, here's the mask right now. Let me see
Oh,
that
wait,
mask
come
real
see the
quick.
mask real quick. Ooh, and then there's some water.
There you go. There's the mask
There it
right
is.
there.
Check it out. 13X Studios. Go check it out.
And then after those interviews, we'll be back, and Kelsey will be here with us, and maybe we'll chat with some more people around here. We got all kinds of cool celebrities hanging around.
There we go.
How you doing, man?
Great. It's good to meet you again. I mean, I've never met this man in my life. Wink wonk. First of all,
We were drunk at the bar last night.
that I can neither confirm nor deny those allegations.
Yes, sir.
Dude, tell
I also
me.
know you're a Suns fan. You're all Suns fans, so I hate you all. So,
But
Knicks are going to win it all this year. Knicks are going to win it all this year. I'd take all your money and bet it on the Knicks.
yeah,
Seriously, yeah.
you heard it here. There's your.
Yankees, Knicks, and the Atlanta Falcons. They're the three locks of. I'm giving you three. monster bets.
He just gave you financial advisory.
did.
You want to change your life?
Bet your house.
There you go. You heard it here.
Yes.
Dude, tell me everything that you do. Tell me about, what was it like in Terrifier 2? I mean, you make art as well.
It started back in 1984 when I was walking the beach, and no, I'm just kidding. I actually was friends with Damien. He asked me to be in Terrifier 2, so it was awesome. Changed my life.
Dude.
I should have got an Oscar.
I agree. I agree. Let me ask you this. Did you start acting or doing art first?
Oh, acting? That's what you're calling it? My part? Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. I was going to get a Razzie. That's like the worst acting performance.
But at the same time, it's like the best award for a worst. Yeah, exactly.
Like having a Razzie in my house, I'll be like,
Hell
my
yeah.
boys coming over like, yeah, you don't have a Razzie though. So no, I legitimately, like, I met Damien at a con before and we just became boys. And I think like 5 minutes after Fireballs, he's like, bro, you got to be in Terrifier 2. So that was it. And then it just like, and then like during the COVID time, I just kind of like, I know my name was Selfie Guy in the movie. I'm like, man, I'm going to go crazy with this, I think. And I also make masks for Kevin Smith and Jay Muse. So Kevin gave me permission to wear the Movies outfit in the movie. And that was it. And then I just went crazy. I did a documentary called Selfie King. It's on YouTube right now. It's awesome. And it's a ton of celebrities in it. It's really funny. And it was like Selfie Guy trying to make it in Hollywood. So it's really super funny. And no, that was it. It just went, I don't know. It just blew up. And I just, yeah. And it's like, but what I say, I do everything free because like one of the first cons I did, Days of the Dead in Indianapolis, I made a ton of money from signing $10. That's all. I didn't want to charge any more. And I also don't want to take away from the Terrifier people that are, this is their living, so this is what I do. I love making masks. So I just was driving to a con one day and I was like, yo, I don't, I'm like, I'm not going to charge anyone, no nothing. So I refuse to take money from Terrifier fans. So that's why I do everything for free, and people dig that. So.
Oh man, well that's huge. And dude, like, how long have you been making these masks? Because like, not only are these like so different in styles, but like, dude, you are actually really freaking talented. The weather and the wear on these, I mean, just insane detail.
And I came from being like as a young kid, I think I was the same size I was in 8th grade. So I was a total jock. I like basketball and baseball were my thing. And then I just later in life, I got into the like the bar business, and then I also played poker for a living and DJ. So all the things.
What don't you do?
I know those are things I've done. It's all fun things.
Do you bake?
I bake.
Damn. Okay. Tap dance.
I get baked. No.
Yeah. Nice. Keep that in.
But yeah, 8 years ago, just one day, I was like, I saw it like I said, I'm going to start making Jason hockey masks randomly, and then it just blew up, and never looked back, man. Full-time job for 8 years.
No kidding.
This November 13th is my 8th year anniversary. So.
First of all, congrats. Second of all, I know a ton of people, including us, Scaredycast as a whole, would love to live the dream full-time. Sure. What advice or what's something that you could just throw out there for everybody that's like us, that's struggling, going, man, sure. I want to do that?
So the one thing I do want to say is so many people say, I wish I had your life. I hear it all the time. They're like, we want to live like you live like a rock star. Like, I think people just think I get like, can I say fuck on here?
Fuck yeah.
I say, can I say fuck? That's just kind of fun. That's like the joke. No, but like, everybody's like, you live like a fucking rock star. They think I fucking get hammered every night and fucking party. Like, I want to tell you, there was a couple days ago, I legitimately like went in the shower and my hands were bleeding, and I said, this is how much I love my fucking job. My hands are bleeding. Not many people could do this. And it's like, I'll get up at 9 in the morning, by 11 I'm working, and I'll go to 8 at night. And again, I make fucking hockey masks. So that's the fun part. Then again, I get people that hit me up, wholesale companies are like, bro, I know it's near Halloween, but could you make me a couple boxes? So it's a lot.
So business is booming, and you do it all by yourself? You have any help?
Myself. I do it all by myself.
No kidding, man. You're, gee whiz.
So, but it's living the dream for real. And people say I inspire them all the time. You got to go out and make moves. It's not going to come to you, So all this stuff that I do, like Jay and Silent Bob, like that was kind of given to me. Somebody took a picture of the mask and sent it to Kevin, and then I got an exclusive deal. So that was not me. But
But if he didn't make the mask, it wouldn't have happened.
Exactly, for sure. And then, but after that, it wasn't like, I'm their number one seller, the mask in their store at the Secret Stash. So you just have to keep going and plug in and doing your thing. And then the whole Selfie Guy thing, like, people laugh this all the time, but I mean, I get movie gigs, opportunities. Even today, which I may even, it's kind of a cool story. So I get offers all the time, and then you say like, I'm an actor because I was in a part, but like, it's not really my thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to do like 1 or 2 movies per. Everybody just wants the Terrifier name. I get that. They're like, oh, starring this, and he was in Terrifier. But like, I'm gonna be in Circus of the Dead Part 2, and I'm crossing over my character from. It's gonna be. There's a couple of things that are gonna be crazy, and a lot of my masks are gonna be in the movie too, and so that's something that I'm behind 1,000%. I can't wait for it. And he announced me very early, right from the beginning. He announced me, so it's cool. But like some of these other ones, I don't have the time either, and that's what I'm saying. But I wish actors that are trying to get into gigs and stuff, I'd like to give that to them. I wish I could, because I mean, people are struggling and people are coming after me. I'm like, I don't want to take away money from you, But if there's a project like Circus that did something that I believe in, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it over.
Jump on it, yeah. And you're making the money moves. You're setting yourself up for success and meeting people and getting new opportunities. So you heard it.
Unless it was like a Suns. If the director of Circus the Dead, like, hey, I'm also a Suns fan. He's a Dallas guy, but I would be like, I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it. I don't care about this. I don't care about Durant.
Did you hate the Suns before Durant? Or
understand, Kevin Durant said when he was in Brooklyn, Kevin Durant said, I am, who cares about the Knicks anymore? It's all about Brooklyn. And what's funny, right, when he said that, every Knicks game was still sold out. Brooklyn was struggling to get people in the building, and then he left. So I hate this man. I hate him. I have a personal vendetta against him.
There you go.
We don't want Kevin Durant. We don't want him. He wouldn't even start on our team.
Besides, I know you're watching KD, and I'm sorry, but hey, man.
Sorry, KD.
Okay.
Well, on that note, no.
Actually, I'm a gambler too, so I take KD all the time. FanDuel. I bet him over on FanDuel all the time, and he wins money.
Dude, incredible work.
Sure.
Keep it up. This is so cool. It's so nice to meet you on this trip, and it's just,
it's just everything's 13xstudios.com, and then Facebooks and TikToks and Instagrams. It's just all 13x Studios. So
you got it.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. We are here at Days of the Dead HorrorCon in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm here with the beautiful Mira Sorvino. Thank you so much for talking with us today. Now, this is day 2 of Days of the Dead. There's so much fun going on. Have you had a chance to go around talking to the vendors yet? What's your favorite part of Days of the Dead?
I haven't been going around, but some of the vendors have come and talked to me, and it's been great. And I love the fans the most. The interaction with the fans is what makes these really special to me, because someone comes up to you and lets you know that some movie you were in just really stayed in their heart, and it became sort of an influence in their life. And when you're a movie actor, it's not like you're in the theater and immediately people clap or come up to you backstage that your work meant something. But this way you actually get to know that what you did was had significance in some way, like larger than just that one time that you shot that scene. Like it carried on and has reverberations for years. In the case of something like Romeo and Michelle, like that has, some people are like, that movie let me know it was okay to be who I was, or me and my best friend watched this like every year, like multiple times, so that's special to me.
What does that mean to you to be able to interact with your fans and to be able to have that interaction and know, the art that you're making really does have real life positive impacts on people, and that, you had a part in that?
Yeah, well, that's what I was just saying, like how much it means to me. Like I love actually, getting to talk to them, find out where they're from, like find out a little bit about their lives, and just share this moment together. And it reminds me when I met people when I was a kid that my dad would work with that I was a huge fan of, and when they were nice and when they were like real human beings, it stayed with me forever. So I try my best to give them the experience that they're hoping for.
Absolutely. Now, we're talking about Days of the Dead. It was just impacted by a hurricane here in Atlanta. What does it mean to be able to have the horror community come together and to be able to celebrate our love for this art, and, to be able to have your fans here to celebrate together, just during such difficult times?
Yeah, well, my heart goes out to all the victims of the storm and the flooding, and it's just crazy, and I'll be praying for all of them. It's very nice that people actually made the effort to come out to be here, and I hope more people get to have a little brightness in their day by coming to the con. But it's nice to see people still finding a bit of celebration in the midst of all this troubled time.
Absolutely. Now, Days of the Dead is such a special place to be. You know, for anyone who maybe isn't familiar with Days of the Dead, what would you say to them to encourage them to come out? You know, especially if you're local to Atlanta, if you love horror, what would you say to them?
You can come here, you can dress as your favorite character. A lot of people are walking around in super impressive costumes. Like, I am blown away and a little frightened, I have to say. And there's incredible vendors, there's wonderful interactions with my colleagues, fellow celebrities who are in some of your favorite projects, and it's just a really fun time.
Now, have you seen a favorite cosplay so far? I mean, there's a lot of good ones to choose from, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? The Santa one, the Terrifier? Is that? Yeah, that was terrifying. He was terrifying. There's one guy who's the Thing, and he has like this lit, like head piece, which is pretty awesome. But there's some people who sort of are doing their own thing. They're sort of an amalgamation of different characters, and some of them look really beautiful. I mean, some of the women, like, you know, get these incredibly sexy costumes together with this incredible, like, high level makeup artist jobs. Yeah, so it's like a constant parade of creativity.
Now, I know obviously you're an actress. Would you ever cosplay, or is it kind of like remind you too much of your job?
I have never cosplayed. Never say never, but you know, I love Halloween. So in a way, Halloween is the day of cosplaying, and we are in the month of Halloween, so it's all, you know, it's all up for grabs. But yeah, I've never, I mean, I'm trying to think if I've played like a character from a movie for Halloween. I know I did 2 of my daughters up as Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's over different times. But yeah, never say never, as I said.
I absolutely love that. Well, speaking of Halloween, do you have any fun Halloween traditions or any movies that you make sure that you watch every Halloween?
You know, I still have kids that are, like, one of them is young enough to still, like, allow us to accompany her, at least at the beginning of trick-or-treating. So those are, my traditions have been, like, going out with my kids and helping them get their costumes ready. And then at the last second, they're like, come on, Mom. And I'm like, wait, I have to put on my eyelashes. You know, there's, like, you know. So my costumes are usually, like, an afterthought. But I love walking around with them and seeing them be happy. And this might be the last year, though, because my daughter's 12 and she has a ton of friends, and I don't know if she's going to want Mom and Dad tagging along.
You know what, maybe not now, but then, you know, later, then she's going to want that even more. But, you know, I have to ask you, you know, it's Halloween time, and we know that Disneyland is a big love of yours, and Halloween time at Disneyland is amazing. Do you have any plans to make it back there, or what, or why do you love?
I just spent my birthday at Disneyland, and for me, it is the most magical place on earth. I am a total Disney nut. And I've done some of their Halloween events before, like, you know, the special, like, Mickey and Friends Halloween. I think they have, like, the Oogie Boogie's, like, Halloween dance party over in California Adventure right now. I don't know that we'll get the chance this month to go back because we were just there. So we try and space them out a little bit. But, you know, it's always such a special experience for me. Like, I just feel like I went to Disneyland when I was, like, 5 with my family, and we went to Disney World. And I have such fond memories of that, and of my dad, like, reaching up and grabbing the toe on the guy on the bridge in Pirates of the Caribbean. And I've been able to continue that with my husband. Like, some of our first dates were at Disneyland, and then we went on to have our kids, and we've had birthday parties there. We did one time where we did a special meet and greet with Mickey and Minnie, and, like, my daughter is a dancer, and she's still a dancer. She's 19 now, like, incredible dancer. But at the time, she was like a little girl, but taking all these dance classes. And so Minnie danced around with her. And then a couple of years later, we were walking through Toontown, and we ran into, like, a Minnie character on the street. And she recognized my daughter and started, like, pantomiming, like, the dancing and dancing with her. And I was like, Minnie's real. I was so happy.
Oh, that is such a sweet story. I absolutely love that. You know, this is kind of like a Disneyland, you know, for the horror world, yes, I guess.
A darker experience, but I see the parallels.
Absolutely. Now, Mira, if anyone would like to stay connected with you, see any future projects that are going or anything that you're working on, where can they get connected with you?
Okay, so it's pretty clear. I'm blue check verified Mira Sorvino, at Mira Sorvino on Instagram, Twitter or X and Facebook. I don't really do anything else than that. I mean, I have a TikTok, but I don't really use it. My kids have been like, Mom, no.
They don't want you to do the dance trends on there?
No, eventually I'll try and be better at it. I'll try and devote more time to it. But it's a lot just being a mom of 4 kids and having an active acting career. Like I have a couple films coming out next year. There's one called Signing Day. There's one called Atypical Pirate. I did the one called The Florida Wild. So all these will come out like next year. And then we're working on the Romeo and Michelle sequel. We're very close to being greenlit and being able to announce 100% that it's happening. But we are very, very close to that moment. And it's all the original cast. It's the original writer, Robin Schiff, writing the script. So super excited about that in like pre-production now. So that hopefully will be shot very soon, and hopefully I'll be shooting a film with my husband beginning next month, directed by our friend Melora Walters, who I've made 3 films with. So we've got lots going on, but nothing right now coming out. Of course, you can always see Shining Vale, my horror comedy, for people who are fans of horror comedy, with Courtney Cox and Greg Kinnear. It's on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. There's 2 seasons of that called Shining Vale. So.
You guys, before we get going any further, we got to tell you about the Superstition Candle Company. They are a family-owned business here in Arizona where they hand make every single item, from candles, little crocheted horror figures, rugs, mouse pads, just the coolest stuff you can imagine to add to your horror collection. Give your office or room a little, feng shui with some of their horror candles. Everything is handmade, like I said. They're from their own mold, so each item is unique and individual to this company. Superstition Candle Company. Check them out at superstitioncandlecompany.com.
You guys, we are so excited. We are about to talk to Houston Towe, who you might recognize him from American Horror Story, Animal Kingdom, and a lot of different things. He's super talented. We've been at the con here with him all weekend, right across from him, and he's going to come and talk to us.
And I'm pretty sure this is his first con interview ever. So
Ever.
We're maybe
the first.
in like a couple years from now when he's like Tom Cruise status.
Yes.
Remember who was first, buddy? We got you, dog. Get over here. It's like nice to officially like meet you. I mean, I know we like kind of shook hands earlier, but dude, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is your first con appearance. How's it been so far? That's so exciting.
It's been super fun. All the people that I've met have been nice, and it's just been a good experience overall.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have been in so many absolutely iconic things. You've been in American Horror Story, Animal Kingdom, like you name it. What even got you inspired to start acting at such a young age? And you are so good. You are so talented.
What inspired me to start acting was when I was little. My favorite show was Bunked. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's on Disney+. And I was just obsessed with that show. And I told my dad, I don't want to do chores to get money. And these guys, did they ever make money? He was like, yeah, I guess they do. And I was like, I want to try that. So he signed me up for this modeling agency. That didn't really work out, so we went into an acting agency. And we got my first little photo shoot. And then we got a manager. And my manager is what got me at Animal Kingdom. And that was the first big thing that I ever got. And then it's just gone on and on from there.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, Tony also loves Disney as well.
I love it. Especially Disneyland.
Yeah?
Disneyland.
Dude, Disneyland rules. Have you been to Disney World too?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I
I was
don't
gonna
remember.
say, that's all the way out in
I've been
Florida.
to Disneyland, but I might have been to Disney
You know what?
World.
I'm gonna make a lot of enemies right here. Don't bother with Disney World, dude. Disneyland's where it's at. Go to Cali. West Coast, Best Coast.
Dang.
Just gonna say
Absolutely.
it. I made a
Disneyland
lot
is
of
fun.
enemies right there. But I've been to both, and Disneyland still takes a kick. I'm just saying.
Right.
Just saying.
If there's one ride at Disneyland you could stay on just all day long, which ride are you going with?
Probably crap. I forgot what the name is. The Haunted Mansion.
Haunted
Yes.
Mansion? Yeah.
That's a
my
solid
favorite
choice.
one.
That's the best answer, dude. Seriously.
Right.
You know which one I want to do, and I want to try is this new Star Wars one. That one looks really cool.
I haven't been to Disneyland since the Star Wars World.
Are you talking about the Rise of the Resistance one?
Sure.
It is the most incredible ride I've ever been on in my life.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude, are you a Star Wars fan?
Kind of. A little bit. Like I've watched them, but I'm not like a
Probably
full-blown
a
fan.
little young for it.
What he's saying, he's like, I'm not a nerd, Tony. Simmer down, boy.
Okay, now we're at a horror convention right now. You've been in American Horror Story. You've been in like different horror films. Do you believe in like ghosts or aliens or cryptids or anything like that? Or what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's like for ghosts, I'm like 75% believer.
Okay.
Because I've seen all the things and the evidence, but I'm also like, what if this is just lies, you know? And then for aliens, I think there's a possibility. I think there's a good chance because there's so much out there that we don't know, and it's expanding every day.
Dude. So you're a lot like us. You're like skeptic.
Yeah,
but you believe it could be.
It could be, yeah.
You're not like, no way, absolutely hard
Yeah.
no. Yeah, see, he's just like us. You want to believe. I want that stuff to be real, man. Like, heck yeah. So you're, I don't want to say just starting your career, but like, dude, the sky is the limit for you. And when you do a lot of interviews, because you're going to get a lot of people asking you all the same mundane stuff, but we don't want to hear about that necessarily. We want to know what the real Houston's up to. What do you like do outside of like your acting and all that stuff? Like, what do you actually love to do besides this?
So just recently, I found a new love for football.
Nice.
And I started a tackle football club, or joined this year.
Heck yeah.
So that has been a newfound love for me. I love video games.
Oh, who
I'm a
doesn't?
Gamer. I am a gamer. I've been
What games we
guilty of-
playing?
What games I'm playing? I'm playing Red Dead.
Boom.
That's one of
Oh,
my favorites
Huge.
right
My
there.
God,
That's
yeah.
a great one.
I play Madden,
Nice.
play some 2K,
Oh, so we into some
play-
sports games.
play Skyrim.
Dude, this kid's got all the bangers, dude.
I'm currently on like my 5th playthrough of Skyrim, just because like I've gave up. Like I'm just gonna go back to Skyrim for a little bit because I suck at Call of Duty.
Dude, and if you get the special edition, you can mod it. Add some mods. It's a totally different game. It's even better.
One of my favorite games is also Subnautica.
Oh, dude, that one. If
That
you guys
one.
haven't played it, it's like exploration
yeah.
and kind of creepy also, but like fun and survival.
That was
Crazy.
an amazing game for me.
Yeah.
What was it?
Subnautica.
Oh, I bought that game, but I got too scared and I turned it off.
Is it like a horror game?
No, it's just you're
It's
in the
just-
ocean.
Oh,
Like it's a
And
whole
I-
ocean
yeah.
world that you spawn in, and you have to find out how to escape.
Yeah, you go
And
like
it's like
deep underwater.
Waterworld.
And
It's
you
like
have
a
to
Leviathans.
survive.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then you go into the dark depths, and you just see like something moving, and you're like, oh god.
Hell no.
you're like
God.
so you're like in the
Oh,
ocean.
you're like a diver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you
okay.
get pod.
Yeah, you get stuck on a planet that's only like 99% water.
All water.
And there's just
And you
all
watch
these aliens.
You watch your ship that you just flew in on explode. And you're
Explode.
like, well.
You're like,
and you're
well,
basically in a little
there it
tiny
goes.
little life raft pod, and it's like, don't die. There's the
Yeah,
game.
there's the game right
But it's
there.
beautiful and scary and fun.
Wait, okay, so we live pretty close to California, and you're
Yeah.
probably in California when it's time for filming. That like playing a game like that doesn't scare you to go into the ocean?
I don't go super deep in the ocean.
Yeah, okay, smart.
Same.
I'll go to like medium and I'll just hang out, but mostly I hang by the beach and I'm just
Yeah.
at the shallow water.
That's what's like fun to like play
Yeah.
with, you know, have fun
Yeah.
around it. And like going in the deep stuff is like surfers only.
What could
Like,
be under there?
Yeah, dude, I know.
Well, I know. Well, they haven't even discovered like all of the animals
Yeah,
that
I
are
know.
on the
Like
planet yet.
80% of the
Yeah.
ocean is
My dad
not
I was right next to my
explored.
dad once. He was in California, Huntington Beach. It's like still my favorite. We were going swimming and he was showing me how to boogie board. And then he's like, "Oh, watch out." I'm like, "Where? What?" He's like, "Right." And he's like, "Here, move back." Just jellyfish right next to us. And I was like, "Oh my god, that could have stung me." He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "That just doesn't bother you?" He's like, "No."
I've been stung by a jellyfish 2 times.
What does it feel like? Is it like a bad bee
It's a
sting?
sting.
It's like a. Have you been stung by a
One-
bee before?
No, I've been stung
either.
by like I accidentally I was at this park and I was like sliding down a rail, and on the other side there's a wasp nest, and I broke it and they just attacked me.
Oh no!
It sucked.
Wasps are like 100 times worse than
I know.
like bees
And they
too.
keep
Like bee stings.
stinging.
Yeah.
The
No, I
bees
just
do it
got-
Oh
one
yeah,
and
bees
done.
will just like they're like, okay, bye. I'm done
I like
now.
bees. I don't want to get stung, but I'm not afraid of them.
Yeah.
Like my
Plus-
little brother is. You'll see one and you'll like run inside.
Oh, we need bees though. Bees are good. Save the
I
bees.
know.
Save the
Wait,
bees.
so what is it like? So what is the age difference between you and your brother?
So I have 3 siblings.
Okay.
Oh.
My youngest brother is 10 years old now.
Okay.
Oh,
He's
the
10,
baby.
so it's 3-year difference. And then my older brother is, he's either 22 or 23.
Okay.
So he's a lot older.
So when you have something come out, do you guys like all sit around and like watch it, or do you like watching yourself, or is it like kind of one of those things where like, oh, I don't really
like
wanna...
what's the family side
Yeah,
of like, oh, by the way, I'm a star, but like,
Me and my brothers watch it, like whenever I'm out, but my sister, who's 24 now, she lives up in California.
Okay.
And we live here, so we can't really watch it with her, but
Aw.
she comes down for the holidays. And
nice. And I'm sure she's super supportive.
Oh yeah, she's
Like she gets to be
very
like, yeah,
supportive.
guess what? My little brother's
little
on
brother's-
like Netflix shows, and like he's a movie star, and like
Big deal.
that's awesome.
Big deal.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you, what position are you playing football?
I'm still trying to explore because my coach is putting me at a whole bunch of things. But right now I'm playing receiver and free safety.
I was gonna say, dude, it's got to be at least something fast
You got
because
the
I bet you
hands.
receiver
can
and
run.
running back.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, nice.
But
So
for
you'll
a
be-
receiver though, too, you have to have the hands as well. So you know
true.
you can't just be fast.
But you know what's awesome about him? He's on offense. He's gonna get all the touchdowns. He's gonna be the star.
Yeah,
you got
that's
you got a touchdown dance plans for when you gonna do a little Fortnite something?
Oh, the gritty.
The gritty. He's gonna
That's
drop
the
the
gritty.
gritty. I'll be looking forward to that. I'm gonna see you in the highlights, man. Heck yeah.
Well, okay, so I know you're taking a little break because you're exploring football and school and everything, super fun. But I heard that you do have something coming out soon, right? A short film.
Yes.
How can people? What is it called? What is it about?
So it's called The Stain, and it's a psychological thriller about a stain. And I can't say much.
Okay.
But
nice.
it comes out October 27th.
Okay, where can
So
people
soon.
watch it? Is it going to
can
be on
watch
YouTube?
it on YouTube.
On YouTube. All
YouTube.
right. So people are going to have to take a look. We'll make sure to share it as well. Share the link once it's
Yes.
out. And then once you can talk more about it, then we'll be able to have you back on.
Yes.
And be
Oh,
able
for
to
sure.
have you in studio and talk about it even more. Now, I
Yeah.
know you probably can't say, but do you have like a favorite memory? I won't say like favorite project, but maybe like a favorite memory of like, you know, your time acting or maybe interacting with like, you know, one of your co-stars or something like that.
On The Stain? Or just in general?
In general, yeah.
Oh, in general. So, for Animal Kingdom, Layla George, who played my mom, she at the time was married to Sean Penn,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and she took us over to their house, and I boxed in his boxing ring when I was like 8 years old.
what?
And I didn't even know who he was. And I was just like, my dad was like, oh my gosh, you don't know how insane this is. And I was like,
Like one day you'll understand how awesome.
This-
all I
this is,
cared
dude.
about was his boxing ring.
That is so funny, and that makes me feel a million times
So-
older than I was already feeling. But
Dude,
okay,
that's
but now
wicked.
that you're a little bit older, have you like seen anything that Sean Penn has been in, or?
I've seen like bits of I Am Sam.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
That one's
nice.
pretty good.
That's a good one.
But I haven't like full on watched a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
so cool.
That's funny, man. That'd be like one of us like just going to Sean Connery's house for a drink and just being like, I don't remember who that is. And it's just like, dude, you know, your parents are like, oh my God. Like, you just had dinner with James Bond.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Yeah, Layla, she was a great. She loved us. She took us to the zoo.
Oh, what?
She did a whole bunch of stuff like off camera.
Aw, just to
She
be
was
just a
amazing.
cool person.
Yeah, she's a
Oh,
cool
I love
person.
that. Dude, we need more people like that in everywhere,
Yeah.
not just Hollywood, but like people that are just nurturing, just cool as hell, you know? Man.
I love that. Man,
yeah.
that's so exciting. Well, Houston, I am so excited for you. We're so excited for your career. We're
Yes.
excited to be sharing the space with you here at Artists Assemble HorrorCon, Horror Fest. Yeah, I guess if anyone out there is listening and they're a fan of yours, what would you say to them? Do you have any advice? Do you have anything that you would say to anyone who maybe wasn't able to come down and meet you today?
When times get tough, don't stop trying. The worst thing you can do is give up.
Boom. And we need to hear that because, you know, sometimes it's tough running a podcast or trying to get made, you know, get big. And it's like, yeah, man, keep your chin up.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's very wise. That's very wise. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. Now, for anyone who would like to connect, you know, with you or like keep up to date with your projects, where do they go?
They could go to my Instagram, which is at Houston_Towe.
Beautiful. Love it.
Dude, thank you so much for being on here, man. We're honored. And to be
Boom.
your first like interview at your first con, this is freaking sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. We can't just wait to
thank
see
you.
where you go, brother.
Thank you.
Rochelle
Sorry.
Davis from The Crow is approaching us right now.
No way.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rochelle Davis. Sarah from the Crow, take a seat right there.
No, my God!
Take a seat.
Nobody fart. All right.
Oh, God.
I'm nervous.
I don't think I could survive a no fart rule over here.
I start tooting when I get nervous.
We can't say the no fart rule, otherwise these guys are never going to be allowed on the podcast.
Oh, forget it.
Rochelle Davis, welcome to Scaredycast.
Oh my God, Rochelle, hi.
Hello.
What an
How are you?
absolute honor. I can't believe you're here and just in front of us right now.
I'm absolutely honored to be here myself.
Pincher, is she real? Is she a hologram?
We don't pinch our guests. We don't pinch our guests.
She does
Sorry.
exist.
I am real.
Oh, my
Where do we even
gosh.
start?
Dude, how has your weekend been? How's everything been going?
It's been fabulous. People here are really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you do events all over and you're like, all right, people are cool, you know, whatever. And like some places you're like, okay, not as cool. You know? But when you go to an event, like everybody's smiling and they're having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, there's not all these complaints about everything. Like it's good. It just like there's a flow.
Yeah.
And it's like the end of the day, and somebody just came up to my table to get an autograph, and I was like, "Oh my God, you have the Walmart like 4K that I bought, and they didn't send it to me, so they refunded me." And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, I was so devastated. He's like, "That's crazy because I didn't get the other one that everybody else was selling on all the other sites." And I'm like, "Dude, I got you." And he's like, "Trade?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, seriously." He's like, "Seriously?" I'm like, "Seriously." I was like, my friend bought 8 copies from Barnes & Noble because she knew that people would not buy them. And I was like, "I will absolutely give you one of those if you want to give me the one." And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "In fact, next week I'm going to be at an event where Laurence will be there and Beiling will be there." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I'll get a sign." He's like, is this seriously happening?
This is real life?
I was like, "You don't understand how sad I was to be in the film and have Walmart tell me, no, you can't have one." Like, what?
You're like, wait a second.
How dare you?
Walmart.
You're like, let's rewind
And my
here a
friends
little
are
bit.
like, "You need to tell them." I'm like, "It's some customer service rep. They don't care." Do you really think they would believe me? They'd be like, "Right." And I'm sure you're Batman too. Like,
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, "That's
You're
not
like,
the
that's
argument
me. I'm
I'm
in the
gonna win."
film.
I just need
actually-
people like
was
me
like, it
there
doesn't
that's
matter.
like, do you understand who needs this Blu-ray right now? You get it shipped.
But yeah, so I was like, "This is devastating." I'm like, "You can't buy them once they're done. They're done."
Yeah.
So I was like, "This is never gonna." And then he's like, "I have one." I'm like, "I will get you my signature."
Oh my
There's
God.
He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "I will. I promise."
And like how much
Serendipity.
that means to like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
But
That's
it means so
huge.
much to me too. I mean, that
Yeah.
seems silly because it's my movie, but like I have a 21-year-old son. Like he's gonna grow up, have kids. They're gonna have kids. Like, you know, this is my legacy to leave behind.
Right.
And yeah, it may just be another version of the same film. It's just a different artwork and such, but it doesn't matter. It's like I can't give just one of them to my kid and be like, "But I couldn't get Walmart to give me the other one." Like, that
Get it
doesn't
together,
seem like I can
Walmart.
pull strings at all.
You know what? That's interesting that you say that because we were just talking about physical media and how much has been lost because it's not physically somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
all
true.
digital now.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Very
it's
true.
good that you're able to do that. And oh my gosh, it actually kind of just gave me chills.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have like these very industrial Tupperware things that I keep, like artwork from different artists, stuff from James O'Barr, like things from on set.
Oh my God.
Like and I tell my son, I'm like, if this place sets on fire, those are the boxes we grab. That's it.
Yep.
I
That's
don't
it.
care about
Yep.
your birth certificate, my social security. Like,
We can
grab
get those.
boxes. We can replace
We're
those.
not- yeah.
We cannot replace that.
Yeah.
box.
Oh my God. Right there.
You said that you have things from the set.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you have? Like,
Well, I lost a lot. I lost a lot more than I have,
Oh,
which
wow.
is sad. But I mean, you know, it's been 30 years. People get mean and nasty, and they break your stuff. My stepmom like burned a bunch of my stuff. A friend of mine stole one of my jackets. Like just stuff like that happens. But I still have. We used to do these little posters in the production rooms that were just jokes. They were like supposed to mimic, if you remember back in the 90s, the big fad was like all those stupid magazines that was like the 10,000-pound baby born from a 93-year-old.
It's like
Weekly World News.
Yeah.
Yes.
Weekly World News.
So we made
Love that.
those with like us, and so I have like those printed out that we would like take off the walls and I would put away.
Hell yeah.
I have call sheets from like when we worked. The weird thing is I found a call sheet and I was like, wow, I haven't seen this in like 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
And I was going to do a reunion. And I'm like, well, let me look on the call sheet because it just has who you're working with that day. I'm like, let me look on the call sheet on like who is going to be at the reunion. All of them. Everybody on the call sheet was at the reunion. I'm like, this is not happening. So I brought it with me and I'm like, And I'm like walking up to like the actors, and they're like, "You have a call sheet from?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they decided. They're like, "That's amazing." They're
That
like,
is.
"We're on the." I'm like, "That's what's so incredible. You're all on the call sheet,
And you're all
So,
here.
Yeah, and you're all here. So they all signed it. So I have this little tiny package
That's like
of call
priceless.
sheet, like stapled. It's all old
That's
as hell,
priceless.
and it's all signed. And even James O'Barr signed it. It's amazing. And I was like, "That's so cool! Like, how did I even have that out of all the stuff? Like,
Because it's like such
one random call sheet, from some random day."
It's like having a receipt from like 20 years ago, and you're
but
like, how?
I also found my contract. Like, I have my contract from the Crow, where I signed Rochelle Davis at 12 years old with my mother's signature underneath. I have my contract. I have all that stuff. It's weird. I have just the most random things. And then I've had people give me stuff, like James has brought me stuff and been like, these were like pins from when it came out.
Oh
They're
my
priceless,
gosh.
keep them, and I'm like, oh, thanks. Or he did like a new set and he was like, these ones are, but we only gave them out for this, so keep them.
Yeah.
Like I have a thing from Robert Zuckerman, like showing of the art from the Crow because he was the still photographer. I have like his exhibition flyer from like 1995 or something that my mom got in Miami and saved for me. So like just anything you can think that like seemed sentimental, I saved it, I kept it, and then over the years I've just been finding like newer artists to do the Crow, their version or whatever. Like one guy did a Winnie the Pooh with the Crow on. It's so badass. And he showed me and I was like, this is amazing.
way.
And he's like, yeah, I brought you one. I'm like, this is so cool. He's like, you're so cool. I'm like, this is so cool. So like,
I was
my
just
son
going to ask
gets
you
so
that
excited,
about like you have to. You go to all these cons,
Yeah.
and obviously, I mean, legendary. People have got to bring you stuff. Like,
Yeah, they do.
I made this for you. This
Yeah.
means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And like,
and I like break down in tears like every time. I'm like, oh my god, you what?
like, yeah, like I matter to
it's so-
you. Like,
yeah.
I know that's got to feel just so fulfilling.
It's very odd. And funny story, because we're doing this.
Hell yeah.
My son didn't know I was in a film until he was almost 11 years old.
Okay.
Just didn't know. It wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, you're just mom. Yeah, you're just mom.
I didn't mean to not tell him. It wasn't like intentionally I'm not going to tell
Sure.
Like, no. Just never came up. I make him peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. He doesn't care.
He was like, hey, as long as you get to
food in
school
the
on
house,
time.
Can
Yeah,
I
I
watch
know.
TV? Where's my iPad? It was like none of that mattered. So my dad calls me up and he's like, I heard you're doing an event this weekend. This was back in 2014. So my son was he was 10, just about to be 11. And Jackson from Bad Grandpa or something. What is it? The Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, you're right. Bad Grandpa.
So he was there.
Okay.
And he was exactly the same age as my son. He was 10, about to be 11.
Oh.
So I get there and I'm like, oh man, you were great in that. And he's like, oh man, you're really cool. He got geeked out and I was like, this is cool, whatever. So my dad calls me and he's like, hey, I was thinking of coming up there today. Would that be all right? And I'm like, absolutely. Come on up. You've never seen one of my conventions. Let's do it. He goes, would it be cool if I call your mom and see if it'd be cool if I pick up Destin on the way up, my son? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead and grab him. I'm sure he'd want to get out of the house for the day.
Yeah.
Whatever.
See some cool stuff.
Didn't even occur to me. Didn't occur to me at all. Didn't even think to say to my dad, like, you might want to tell him.
Yeah, like prep him like
about this. Like,
Mama's gonna have fans
I'm just
coming
like,
up.
go grab my son, bring him on up. So he gets there. I'm behind the
The
table, I'm signing, and this
sitting on the
person's-
wall.
Yeah, this person's standing in front of me, and they're like, "You don't understand what this means to me." And he's like looking at me and looking at them and looking at me and looking at them, and like
He's like, who are you?
And I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking, what is his problem? And then I go, and it occurs to me, he doesn't know. He has no idea.
Oh,
why this person is wigging out in front of me, and he's like,
BT Dubs, your mom's iconic.
right? And so he looks at me and he goes, the guy had walked away, and he goes, Mom, can I come sit back there? And I go, yeah, sure. So he sits down and he's like,
Whoa, this is what it's like.
and he's kind of looking around like, sizing up the scenario, And so, nobody had walked up at that point, and I smoked cigarettes at the time, so I was like, I need to take a break. Also THC, so I was like, I need to hit the pen and then have a cigarette. So me and my dad and my son go outside, and this guy comes up to me that had been there earlier, and he was like almost in tears, like his eyes were filled up, and he's like, I can't tell you what this meant to me. I drove 5 hours to come and meet you. This was literally the reason I came, was to see you. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm starting to cry because I'm like, oh my god, dude, that's so sweet of you to say. And he's like, and I just wanted you to, can I shake your hand? I'm like, no, give me a hug.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bring it in, and I give him a hug, and then I see out of the corner of my eye my son like
Like, what is happening right now?
He is just jaw to the ground. I am thoroughly, now I've realized since then, he's on the spectrum, so am I. So a lot of things took a little bit longer to process than a regular, non-neurodivergent. But I didn't know that at the time even, and he still would have been thrown regardless. So I hug the guy, and I turn around and finish my cigarette, and my son goes, "Mom, you're going to need to explain some things."
He's like, we need a talking to, okay?
Who are you? And I look over and I go, yeah, okay, so, and I didn't know how to say, like, how do you tell your kid that? I think I'm pretty humble, so I go, so, like, sometimes Mommy's famous. And he goes, sometimes? I don't think sometimes, Mom. I think you're just famous, and sometimes people know that you're famous. I'm like, that's a really accurate way of putting it, actually, but I was like, but so, yeah, and he's like, Mom, people are crying and hugging you. Can you please? And I'm like, all right. So we just sat down and I explained to him about the movie, and and he's like, so this was like a big part. I'm like, yeah, it's huge. And he's like, can I watch it? I'm like, yeah, well, like next weekend we'll sit and watch it together. So, he went, and I ended up paying him like $100 bill, and I was like, go buy things. And he's like, oh, hell yeah. So questions over. He was gone, So the next weekend comes, and he comes over to the house, and he's like, Mom, you promised the movie. And I'm like, all right. So I put it in the DVD player. I never could think in my life how nervous I could possibly be until that moment. It never even occurred to me, like, this is the only person I care, that it matters. Like, I'm going to lose it if he hates my movie.
Your child...
I'm going to lose my mind.
Your child is watching you perform at like his age as a child, and you're going, oh my God, what if he doesn't like it?
I'm like, if he doesn't like this, I'm going to be devastated. So I'm sitting behind him like this, just chewing my nails off, biting my lips, everything. The scene where they kiss at the very end, he kind of turns his head, and I'm like, oh no.
Yep.
Oh no, he hated it. Oh no, he probably hated it. This is going to be horrible. And the credits come up and the song, and he's staring at it, and then he just turns his head. He was laying on his belly, I'll never forget, like on his belly with his hands crossed. He turns his head and he goes, can we watch it again? And I go, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I clicked restart, and he turned back and he watched it again and never watched it after that.
Oh my God.
But he loved it. I was like, so you liked it? He's like, I thought it was amazing. He's like, that was like why people hug you. He's like, that's amazing. So,
I know. Now I'm all like,
so he didn't like watch it a bunch after that or anything, but one day he came up to me and he goes, you do conventions, right, Mom? And I go, yeah. And he goes, so my best friend at school, his name is Damien. And I was like, cool name, first of all. You know?
Yeah.
And he goes, so I told him you were in movies. He doesn't believe me. And I asked him what his favorite movie was because he loves horror movies.
I swear to God.
I go, cool, what was it? And he goes, Child's Play. And I go,
oh,
you're kidding, right? And he goes, why? And I go, like, really? What? And he goes, yeah, why? And I go, like, he's going to be here this weekend.
No,
and he goes, what do you mean he's going to be? I go, the kid from Child's Play. His name's Alex Vincent. He's a friend of mine. He goes, you're, like, seriously? I go, yeah, I'll go get his autograph. I go, you want me to get one for Damien? He's like, you couldn't really do it. So this child left school. Shit cracks me up. This child left school on a Friday afternoon telling this kid Damien that's like, yeah, right.
For sure.
Sure, your mom knows famous people, right? He comes in Monday morning with pictures of Alex Vincent, one signed to him, with him in full costume as an adult, and then one of him as a kid with his director chair.
No
And he's
way.
like, here you go. And the kid went,
Yo.
are you? So he was like a god to that kid. And then he goes to the next school, which he didn't know a bunch of kids. So he ends up telling somebody after maybe a month, being there. They're like, talking to him. And he's like, well, my mom, she does films. And they're like, yeah, right. And he's like, no, really.
There you go.
So he Googled me. I didn't think that would be a thing that would happen. So he comes over and he goes, yeah, so I'm at school today and I was telling these kids, and I'm kind of like, listen, in passing. I'm like, well, about your day. And he goes, and they didn't really believe me, so I Googled you. I go, I'm sorry, what?
Well, yeah, what did you do?
You what? And he goes, I go, you Googled me in school. You Googled me. I go, you know my stage name? He goes, yeah, of course. I'm like, and you Googled me to your friends in school. Like, I'm
wait,
getting
how
this
old?
right?
How old at this time? Like 11
he was
still?
like 12, 13. Yeah, like he was like, you know, it was at the age where it was pretty much you could probably be like, my mom's an aunt, you know, like, but no, he was like. So I go, what did you do? And he goes, I Googled you. And he goes, I showed everybody. I was like, this is when she had pink hair. This is when she had red hair. This is when she did this. Like, and I go, and what did they have to say? And he goes, well, this one girl said, is your mom a supermodel? I go, she can come over anytime she wants.
She's good.
She's good anytime she wants.
Is she single?
Is
Do
she
you
your
want to
best
date
friend?
her?
Yeah. Would you like to marry her? I will set up the wedding. Like, so yeah. He doesn't tell most people about it, but like when he does, I can see the pride in his face. Like he'll be talking to a friend that really doesn't know, and he'll be like, "Oh, you don't know, do you?" And they'll be like, "No, what?" And he's like,
nice. Now he's doing what you did to him.
He's like,
that's too cool.
"Oh, this is gonna be fun." And then he looks at me and he like winks and walks away, and I'm like,
he's like, "All right, here we go." So first you want to go to Google,
right?
That's too
Man,
cool.
you don't even need a
That's
promoter.
insane.
You have your son.
Yeah. So yeah, he asked me that recently. He goes, so like people just like set you up to do these? And I go, listen, I'll tell you what, I hate booking agents. Like I really do. I said I work with one right now. He's the only one I like, and he really just does my West Coast stuff because that's where his stuff is. I said I have a website that lists every convention that comes to America on the planet. I will give you that website. If you can book me one show, you can book all my shows. He's like, really? I'm like, yep. Hasn't gone to the website yet.
Oh, man.
He's 21 though, so I'm like, whatever day he decides he doesn't want to work a regular job, he'll go to that website, I promise.
Yeah,
Because
nice.
he also wants to come to these with me.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's a
like,
no-brainer.
then you have to book me.
Yeah.
And be like, I need to accompany Miss Rochelle Davis to the da-da-da. And then you get to shop, you get paid. He's like, that's a
You
job.
get to
in
sit
the
at the
fan.
table.
Keep it in the fan.
You get to watch everybody go, oh my God, it's your mom. Yeah.
Because all he really likes to do is like play video games. He's a DM master for Dungeons and Dragons.
Very
He
cool.
does that a lot. And that's pretty much it. Like
yeah.
when he has a job, he has a job. But like we tried to sell our house, so he lost his job. And I'm like, you're 21. Don't worry about it. I started working at 12. I was taking care of myself by 14. I'm like, you do the slow route.
Yes.
Just take your time.
Do not be
have
in
to
a
go
hurry to grow
anywhere.
up and
Exactly.
pay bills.
Yeah.
I'm like, go
Have
to
to
your
work
room
all
and
that
play
stuff.
games.
Yes.
Just go play games. Be a kid.
Enjoy.
It's like I'm 21. I'm like, you're still a kid. Go
Right.
play games. Like,
Dude, that's too cool.
like when I need your money, I'll tell you, okay? Like, then you can get a job, part-time job, whatever, but still keep playing your games. So I'm
have
very,
fun.
very
life.
persistent about like him just taking it slow so he can get to know who he is. Like I just came out as a lesbian this year.
No
I'm
way.
44.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell
And
yeah.
I've always been bisexual as far as everyone else was concerned because, and I didn't even realize that it was a lie. Like it's so weird because as I was growing up, I'd be like, how does somebody like live 30 years and then find out they're gay? That can't be a
Right,
thing.
like you just wake up one day?
But then I realized it as I was starting to love myself. I was like, oh my God, I don't like being with men.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, then how did you? I'm like, because the mechanical stuff works. That stuff works.
Yeah.
So
And-
if you don't think about it.
Yeah.
And so I went to my son. He was one of the first people I came out to. I go, Des, I wanted to let you know. I mean, it's not, I know you don't care either way, but I've never been bi. I'm a lesbian. And he goes, yeah, I know. I'm glad you figured it out finally. I go,
Proud of you,
"What?"
Mom. He's like, proud of you. Cool. So what are we doing for
What?
dinner tonight?
Yeah, and he's like, I was like, I go, wait, how did you know? How did you know before me? Because I get some people just get a sense, but you live with me. How did you know? And he goes, Mom, whenever you dated the female, you were happy, you were joyous, you were in your skin.
Wow.
But every time you were with a man, it was like just not you.
Wow.
He's like, you would be sort of happy, but it was like a forced happiness, and I could tell.
Like
He's
you were
just
put into a
never-
position.
Yeah, you were just never happy and comfortable, and it always was like, and I go, honestly, that's how it felt my whole life. It
Just-
always
just
felt like,
off.
am I doing this wrong?
Yeah.
Is there something I'm not getting right? No, I just don't want to have that kind of relation. I love men. They're wonderful. I just don't want to be with them. And I wanted to prove so badly that I wasn't a lesbian that I got married 3 times to 3 different men just to be like, see, I'm bi, but like,
But you know what's
can't
sad
fool
is
yourself forever.
there you
know?
go. And a lot of
That's
people,
exactly right.
subconsciously, society's just like,
Yeah.
You have to be.
This is what you
mean?
do.
Yeah.
You get married
Right,
to
and
a
like
man.
I said,
what
so
are you talking about?
if the mechanics work, you're like, well, okay, so then this is right. Then.
That's just what you
Must
do.
Be right.
Oh, you don't like it? Just live in sadness.
Then
Who
be
cares?
sad,
Get over
yeah.
it. Don't be sad.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a testament too of like the younger generations, like, you know, being able to have that comfortability
Yeah.
and to be in their own skin. And
Yeah.
I think that's such a testament to like
There's
you
a
as
lot
a
less
parent.
coming
too.
out.
Yeah.
You're just who you are.
You're just like, yeah, it's just
It's just like, you
yeah.
like Ben? Okay, cool.
Fine.
You know,
I
it's
love
not
that.
like, I have to, you know, so I think
yeah.
that's really important. Like my son, he came out to me as bi, and he may still be on his journey. He may be gay. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you, whatever you want to do. If you are not comfortable in your skin as a boy, that's fine. If you're not comfortable being with women, that's fine. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you're happy. As long as there is a smile on my child's face.
Yes.
And I go, I hate to say it, but like, if you were a murderer and that made you happy, I'd figure out a way to help you.
You'd be like a Dexter in real life.
Just throw you to the wolves.
I don't know if I could say I'm proud of you,
I
but
wouldn't be proud, but I'd have
still
to
love
protect you and
I
love
still
you.
love you.
And I'd be like, and it makes him happy. I mean, but no, he's
Well, you
he's
know
a
what?
very
That's
sweet,
a good sign of a good parent. I just want a happy child.
I'm
Right.
like, I just want you to be happy. Like,
I love that.
I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care if you ever do anything for a living. If you move to a town where you barter your entire life from that point on and you're happy, good.
Good.
I wish we were still
whatever it
bartering.
is.
I wish
Yeah.
like bartering was still a thing. Actually, I
That's
was just
something-
talking to someone about it today.
That's something that we look for because we want to move to a different area.
Yeah.
And so we've looked for a lot of areas that do that because there are some areas that they have a very strong community of people that have skills and things that they make or whatever, and they just barter.
Because the value
And, I mean,
is
there's-
what each person brings, not how much paper do you get.
Right, and obviously there's still stores and such, but you can hit up your neighbor and be like, "Hey, man, could you make me a bench and I'll, like paint your car or
Whatever
can you
your
fix
skill
my
is."
brakes and I'll, watch your kids next." Like it's just, and that's so beautiful.
Or like,
So-
hey, I'm going on vacation. Can you
It's
just like
that,
check my mail, watch my dogs? Done.
It's that off-grid nomad living. Like I watch a lot of like YouTube videos of like
Yes.
van life people. They
Yeah.
they
And
got
I
these
love
tricked
that.
out vans and they live in these communities out in the desert where
I
they
think
just
it's
trade
like there's a
stuff.
sense of like, oh, you get it. You're
Yeah.
doing the same thing
Yeah.
I am. I already know I'm comfortable. That's like the ice is already broken.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
honestly, there's a fine line between that and like cult life that
Well,
people
yeah.
create out of that. There really is.
Yeah.
But just you have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
Like nobody should be making your decisions. Nobody should be limiting you from seeing people. And as long as you're not doing that, then everything you're doing is good. That's good. Like we've lost community. I told my son, I said, when I was growing up, my grandmother bought her house cash because she had won a lawsuit from getting hit by a Mack truck.
Oh my god.
My God.
This woman was like 90 pounds.
I'd hate to
dripping
see
wet
what
on a
that
good
Mack
day.
truck looked like.
Yeah, really.
Damn.
But she won a huge settlement, and she bought one of the nicest houses in Levittown cash. And her goal was, I want my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids to always have somewhere to go.
Oh.
No matter what happens, they have somewhere to live. So it was like a 6-bedroom house. And it was constantly either my dad and my uncle live in there, or my aunt and my dad live in there.
Whoever
or like
needed it.
My cousins and my dad. It was like everybody had a place to go. And my grandmother did the same thing.
Oh.
So, and then it kind of dissipated. So I said to my son, the only thing I care about is finding a beautiful community to live in, that you can stay with me as long as you need to. But when you do go out on your own and you want to do things and maybe fall down on your butt and you go, you know what, I need to save money, you can always come home.
Oh.
Always.
Yeah.
And you'll have a space that is yours and yours
Love
alone.
that. Love that.
That you know is yours. Even if you have a family, and
You're safe
your
here.
husband or your wife is
Yeah.
at home with the kids and you just want to go and decompress with mom, I will come in and rub your head and just let you have your, mommy time, because everybody needs comfort in their life.
Who would have
And,
thought? Here we are. Well, we always say this. A year ago, if we would have thought, we would have been at a convention sitting down talking to Rochelle Davis, basically doing a TED Talk on like good parenting and just being a good human. I would have told you you're full of shit.
Can I say it?
Say whatever you want.
Mother is the name for God on the lips and hearts of all children.
You heard it here. Right here on Scaredycast.
It truly is a testament. My mother was a decently decent, I mean, she wasn't a good mother, but she wasn't a terrible mother until after I did The Crow. And so it was kind of like my life imitated art instead of vice versa. And so after the Crow, she became an intravenous drug user, and she was a nurse, so she had a lot of access to that stuff. So I got a real, and it's the only thing I can say about that is that as bad as people will be like, oh, it's terrible, and I'm like, no. Because I wouldn't be the mom I am to Destin if she wasn't so terrible.
Boom.
Because I would say to her, I would never do this to my kids. And she'd say, yeah, we'll see when you're a parent. I've done everything the opposite of what she did,
Because
and I'm proud of it.
You learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
You don't need to make the mistake yourself.
I was like, you know what? You may think that now because you're irritated, whatever. I was like, but I can understand the fact that that's a child.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so when I would get frustrated, I'd walk away. I'd breathe it out. Like I didn't yell at him about it. And then I'd come back and I'd be like, listen, man, you're not going to talk to me that way,
And you're
or whatever.
speaking with
And
emotion.
and also he corrects me. He's come to me and been like, when you said this to me, I didn't really like that. And I'm like, I'm sorry. That went beyond a boundary that I didn't realize you even had. So I apologize. So he's learned that it's not just being taught by a good mother. I have to learn too, just like everybody. So if you can't take criticism and learn to say you're sorry, how do you teach your child
How can you
to
go out
say they're sorry?
or expect them
Right.
exactly to be
so
spouting?
It's accountability, and he's like, he knows 100% I will be accountable. He knows that even if I don't get it right away, once he explains it and I get it, I'm like, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
My bad. I will fix this, and I will. And he knows that. That's consistency.
And the fact that you guys
I wouldn't have learned that without inconsistency.
Right. And now you guys are like this super strong support group to each
Absolutely.
other. And
He's an amazing child.
Unfortunately, all the bad stuff happened, but you're like, all right, well, I can either cry and be sad about it, or I'm going to make the best out of it.
It's like a lotus or a phoenix, whatever you want to think of it, but you can take something
New
bad
life.
and make it worse.
Absolutely.
Or you take something bad and make it. I have a philosophy. Every single thing I go through, every day of every part of my life, I find something good about it. So I remember getting stranded on an off-ramp on 95 a couple months back, probably like 6 months ago. I got stranded on an off-ramp with no gas. I didn't even realize I was that low on gas because my car was old, so it just, So I got stranded, and I'm like, all right. I had to like hoof it through,
By yourself?
95, with my kid and in the car.
Oh, you had to.
He was 18 at the time, but I had to hoof it. Go and find, gas, all this kind of stuff. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
However, we met this really great guy who helped us out with getting us the gas and stuff, and we became friends with him. So I was like, silver lining, bam,
meant to
there
be.
it is.
That's why it happened.
Never. So it's like people are like, "What a terrible mom." I'm like, "Yeah, but she taught me how to be a great mom."
So you're the kind of person that doesn't regret anything because it all happens for something.
No, because
never
regrets
regret.
are what teach you.
Yeah.
I hate when people are like, "I want to live with no regrets." So you want to be stupid?
Regrets are lessons.
So you want to learn nothing
Yeah,
in life.
yes, exactly.
Because what regrets are things that you
Lessons.
go, "I should have done that better," and then you do,
next time.
or you should at least. And if you don't, then you didn't regret it.
And you know,
You didn't learn anything.
No.
You know, I think it's so cool too is that you're so open about it as well. Because I had a similar upbringing from a mom that was not ideal as well.
Yeah.
But it's important to be able to show others, like, hey, I went through this, and they're probably feeling like I'm never going to be a good parent or whatever.
Right.
It's like, no, you
You
are an
can
example.
take bad
Yes.
and make
Exactly.
good.
Yes.
You can't just tell people, "Oh, this is how great of a parent," because then they're like, "Well, yeah, but she probably had." You need them to understand that that can come from nothing.
Yep.
I mean, I remember being 9 years old and my babysitter, like I got out of the shower and she was like, and I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Did you scrub your hair?" And I'm like, "What do you mean scrub my hair?" And she's like, "Well, when you wash your hair, how do you do it?" So she brought me into the shower in a bathing suit just to be appropriate. And she was like a little bit older than me, not much. But she put me in a bathing suit. She's like, "I want you to show me how you wash your hair." And I'm like, "Okay."
Okay.
And I didn't know. I didn't know my mom was a bad mom. I just didn't know. So she takes me in the shower, and I just kind of went like that, and she's like,
Done.
"Oh, no."
Oh, no.
She's
Let
like,
me show
"No,
you."
that's
She's
not
like,
even the part you need to
"Honey."
clean." I'm like, "What?" So, I mean, she took shampoo, and she went into my, and I'm like, "What is happening
You're
right
like,
now?"
"Oh."
She's like, "You need," and she explained it to me. She's like, "You need to clean your scalp and massage it. It helps your hair grow. That's where the oils come from. You don't want to do the ends. That's where it dries. We're in Miami. You're constantly gonna be washing your hair because of the pools and stuff like that. You gotta scrub this and then put some conditioner, and like I was like, holy crap. And then she's like, show me how you wash your body. And I'm like, oh no, like this was bad. So at 9 years old, my babysitter taught me how to wash my body because my mom just never did. She just didn't.
And like,
how do you not teach your kid that? Like,
that's something we take for granted. That's like a non-thing. You're just like, duh.
Yeah, zoom it past that. I mean, my son's a boy, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
So at a certain age, he had to. So I remember coming out, and I would be like, "Dude, get back in the shot,"
Yeah.
So he would get better at it. One day he comes out, and I go, "Did you at all?" Yeah. It's 2. Yeah. I go, I don't know. Come here. Come here. I don't trust you. And he's like,
Mom.
and he does this, and I go, all right. And he goes to walk away, and I go, wait. Come here. And he's like,
Mom.
What? And I'm like, why aren't you coming here? He's like, what do you want? I'm like, just come here. And he didn't. He was like, and I'm like, he didn't. So I grab his other arm and I go, stunk like a skunk. I was like, get your butt in that shower. You clean both armpits.
Or I'll take you outside and hose you.
So this is what I said to him. I go, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is the last thing I'm going to tell you. I said, if you ever come out here and any of your body smells like that again, the next time you will be putting on a bathing suit and we will be going into that bathroom
Together.
so that I can teach you how to shower. I said, then I'm going to turn around and you're going to close the curtain and I'm going to explain by words how to clean all that. I go, is that what you want? He goes, nope, I'm going to take a really good... That kid is
immaculate.
so
That's
clean
the cleanest person
He
in
is
the
most
world.
OCD. He spends 40. I'm like, can you get out of the shower now? He's like, hold on, I'll be out in a minute.
He's like, Mom, I don't want
But
you
I'll tell
coming
you
here on the
what,
bathing
he
suit.
doesn't smell bad. He's not the stinky
He's just
kid.
like sterilized at all times now.
I'm like worried about my own hygiene right now.
I
I'm
know
like,
what, Mike.
shit,
My pits are.
I probably need to go home
I
and
think
take
I
a
forgot to
couple
put deodorant
showers.
on today.
Yeah.
I'm closing it up.
That was like
Oh
the
my
second
God.
battle. Was like he'd go to school and he'd be going to walk out, and I'm like, dude, if you just woke up and I could, you better get in there and wipe them off. And then
Do
he'd
something.
be like, do they really? Dude, I can't breathe. Like, please, seriously.
You don't want to be
So
that kid
yeah,
with
now
the
he's
spray.
now he's very good about it. He loves to do all the, just like I wax his eyebrows and stuff.
Dang.
We do facials, like we do. I mean,
You know what
he
the-
likes spa days. We watch RuPaul and we do.
Oh my gosh.
We do our stuff
Dude,
together.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
We'll exfoliate and we'll do nails
how
and
cool is that?
eyebrows and watch RuPaul.
Yeah.
It's
Me
the
and my mom.
earliest, it's the earliest lesson of like self-care though, which is so
absolutely.
important.
As someone who has a really close connection, both my parents, I'm blessed
That's
enough.
beautiful.
But like, I'm such like me and my mom. We go to the state fair every year
Right.
together and just have our day. I just love that. There's something beautiful about that.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I'm realizing this. I'm 32. It's not that old, but I know I'm getting
you
more
won't have them
existential.
forever.
I won't have them forever, and that's
right.
more and more apparent as health things come up, and then you get to
Yeah.
realize the frailty of life, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, keep your important people close.
Yeah.
Because
I
it
think
sucks
he
when they're
sees
gone.
that I'm disabled already at 44, and it makes him appreciate me just a little bit faster because he's
And you
like,
just
usually
never
people
know.
don't break down till a little older, but I broke down a little younger, and he sees it, So like last night I called him up, and I was just like, what a long day, and he's like, do you want to tell me about it? I'm like, Tez, you're not my therapist. You don't need it. And he's like, no, just vent. Just vent it out. And I'm like, all right.
That's beautiful.
So I was just like, I'm just exhausted. Da, 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 da. And then he's like, and I was like, how's it going over there? And he's like, we miss you. And I was like,
Don't say that. I'll leave right now.
I'll
leave right
I was
now.
like, really? And he's like, no, we really do. Like, me and Sophie really miss you.
I'm on the way home. I'll pack in my bags.
And I was like, that's cool. I was like, because guess what Wednesday is? And he's like, what? And I was like, season 2 of Shrinking. He's like, yes. He just growly on me. He's like, yes. Yes. I was like, so when I come home, he's like, so when you get home, RuPaul's Drag Race?
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like, absolutely. He's like, and then Wednesday Shrinking? I'm like, absolutely. He's like, do you want to do some Steven Universe on Tuesday? I'm like, sounds perfect.
Butts on the couch, just hanging
That's
out.
it. That's all.
Love that.
I live in the living room because we separated the house because it's pretty small. So I'm like, you can have the whole back of the house. I'll have the whole front of the house.
Cool.
So we share, but I have a king size bed. So we have a 65-inch curved TV in front of my bed, and we just put the pillows up, and I'm like, you ready?
Movie theater.
Got the tea? All right, let's do this. And we make our hot tea, and we got our bong out.
Oh, that
and I'm like,
sounds
let's
great.
do
Oh
bong.
my
It's
God.
Dude, let's all. Yeah.
That's how everybody should live.
Yeah.
And I gotta
Yeah.
say, Trixie Mattel, I love Trixie Mattel. It's one of the best things that's
Yes.
come from
Trixie
RuPaul. I mean, they're
and
all
Katya.
amazing. They're all amazing. But yeah, yes. Okay, so
Both Ryans as well. I just want
like
to
We're actually we started at I started season 16.
Okay.
Watched the whole thing. Was like, he needs to watch this. By the way, we watch so many shows together. Like, if I had to list them, there's no way I could remember all the shows we watch.
That's cool.
But every time a new one comes on, we're like, oh, Foundation's back! Like, it's so,
So you guys all like the same things?
We just like a lot of the
How
same
cool
stuff.
is that?
And he'll like stuff that he doesn't think I'll like Has Been Hotel.
Oh.
And he's like, but you love musicals. And I'm like, throw it on. He threw it on. I'm like, this is amazing.
This
He's like,
rules.
yes! So now we watch that together. We watch, Steven Universe. We watch Dexter, we watch, just so many shows, but yeah, he is so much fun. So I watched all of 16, and then I was like, you need to see the show. And he's like, I don't know if I'm going to like it. So we watched the first episode, and he's like,
sold.
One more episode? So we watched this episode, season 16. I hadn't seen 15, so we already knew the winner. So I'm like, let's watch 15. So we watched 15 all the way up to when they would crown the winner. And he goes, I don't want to watch that one. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, they're going to tell you who the winner was from the season before that because they're going to crown the 15. And I'm like, you're right. He goes, so I don't want to watch that yet. Can we go back? And I'm like, yeah. So we went back. And the older seasons, 1 through, I think, 8, they're less money in their funding, whatever. Yeah. So we just went to 9 for whatever reason. And 9 happens to recap all 8 seasons.
Beautiful.
By bringing all the queens back in the first season. We're like,
love it.
No way. We're like, this is perfect. So we're in the at the end of season 9, and we're just gonna keep going. And then once we get to 15, we'll watch the last episode, and he'll know. He goes, then we're watching it live and voting. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
he's awesome. He's awesome.
Too cool.
Man, that's such a beautiful bond that you guys have.
Makes my heart so happy when I hear him go, we miss you. And I'm like, I miss you guys
That makes me happy too to know that guess what? Everybody here's human. I don't care what you play on screen. Yeah. You're still a mom. You still have a son to take care of, and you're not just riding the coattails of my fame and the video. You're like, no, I got to be a mom, and there you are being present.
And I've done a lot of things, I'm an actress, but I've gone to school for massage therapy. I did that for a living. I was a photographer for 6 or 7 years. I've done a lot of different, careers. Mm-hmm. And then I've raised my child, and now I'm thinking about getting into comedy. So, whatever. But it's
you're an amazing storyteller. So, yeah,
that's
perfect.
what I feel like.
Yes.
I have a lot of stories that have happened in my life, and most of them are hilarious. They're just too funny, and people were like, you should write a book. And I tried to do that, and the ghostwriter got scared. She's like, I don't know how to do this. Your life's too big. I really don't know what. I don't even know.
Justice.
She's like, I don't even know how to put this in an order. She's like, I can't put it chronologically. And then she just disappeared. And I was like,
then she became an actual ghostwriter.
I'm like, I do not blame her. So I kind of went, you know what? If I do, I'm just going to do open mics for fun. And I'm going to tell my stories that way. Because they're fun, they're funny, it gets out of your system,
Yeah.
People hear more about
and
you.
And then people get to hear your story from your own mouth.
Yeah.
And they get to see how your mannerisms, and that's even more connection. That's so cool.
Exactly. People that know who I am, it's not like I'm trying to be famous in it, but people that know who I am, if I do an event and I'm like, hey, I'll be doing comedy at that, they'll come and see and be like, oh my God, there's more to her than, which is cool,
Yeah.
I don't want to be famous at it. I just think it'd be fun to do. I like doing stuff on stage, and I never did that, so I want to do it.
Boom. There you go. So, oh my God, I feel like we could just talk all day, all night. We could just keep going. I just want to sit here and listen.
I know.
Like I said, it's
Are we
like a
best
TED
friends
Talk.
now?
Oh my God, yeah.
Do you want to do karate in the garage?
There's so much more room for activities now.
So much room for activities.
Can we hang out on your king size bed and watch your movies and drink tea and stuff? Oh my God.
Come and visit.
But this whole time has been, honestly, inspirational. And you have really good messages, and you're proving it. You're not just talk. You're doing it. You're living it.
Yeah, be the change you want to see in the world.
There you go. I was going to say, what do you want to tell everyone that is going to see this? Straight from Rochelle.
Straight from me. So a friend asked, somebody that was on my page years ago that I talked to for years from Australia has a group that he motivates children. So it's just all about artistic motivation. It's all about anything art. drama, writing, anything creative, essentially, even if it's in science.
What's it called so people can look at it?
I have to look it up.
Okay.
But
No big.
he wrote to me at one point and he said, "We really love your work in the film, and a lot of the kids that we work with would love like something from you. And what we ask is we ask celebrities to create their own quote, and then we put it up on our website, and it's supposed to inspire the kids." And I was like, Say less.
Say less.
I am a Gemini. I love words. Give me 10 minutes, So my favorite quote is my own.
Oh, I love it. There we go.
And it's, live life with an audacious desire that makes people want to gulp.
Say it again. For the people in the back.
For the people in the back, live life with an audacious desire that makes people want to gulp. And I got that from the part of it from my grandmother, because I told her about like looking at a room to rent and how I kind of felt like I shocked the people that I was asking to rent the room from. And her response to me was, "Honey, when you walk into a room, people gulp." And I went, "What do you mean by that? What are you trying to fight me?"
what the fuck are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say about that? But I didn't know what she meant. Like, I really didn't. I thought she maybe was meaning it in a mean way. And she goes, no, honey. You're a very big personality.
You're a presence.
And not everybody knows how to handle that. So when you walk into a room, whether they can handle you or not, they gulp. And I was like, I fucking love that. Like, I love that. I love that.
Like, here we go.
So when he asked for my quote, I was like, I have to throw Graham in there because she's my favorite human being. So
Shout outs.
Shout outs to Grandma.
Shout out to Graham.
Yeah,
Best
that's
human
right.
being.
Yes.
Great
best
quote.
human being in the world.
Yep.
Man, this has been amazing. This is so cool. Thank you, first of all, so much.
I really appreciate you asking me to come over. It was a real joy to talk to you.
We
It's
always
our
feel,
pleasure.
Yeah, honestly, we always feel like the imposter syndrome of like, oh, maybe we're just that annoying, like, oh, come talk to us, let's interview you. But it's like,
that means you're the real deal. Because I feel like people that have that imposter syndrome, they're the ones that really are. The ones that are like, I'm the best. You're like, no, you're not. You're really not.
Move on.
I promise you're not. So,
And to get to see this human side and the fact that you have such a good message, like, just what a thank you. This is so awesome. I can't even believe it. And
Thank
this
you
is
for
so
inviting
surreal.
me.
Dude.
I like to be able to talk to people that aren't maybe here. And, people Google stuff and they see it, and I'm like, hey,
And you have a lot in this interview that a lot of people need to hear.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Thank you.
TED Talk. Like, you should make a YouTube series of just inspirational things.
I actually have a YouTube channel, and I would love to get it going more. And the problem is I don't really know much about the technological part.
Well,
So, hint, hint, if anybody would love to, email me at RochelleDavis@AOL.com anytime with like a little thing in the, subject like, we did an interview with you or something like that.
wink, wonk.
And,
Wink, wink.
no, wink, wink, say no more. Is your wife a go? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? So, if anybody wanted to do that, you know what I mean.
Throwing it out
Know
in the
what I mean.
universe there.
Just saying, know what I mean? Know what I mean? Just saying.
It's an honor to have you here. It would be an honor to help you do that. I just, seriously,
Would love
it's
it.
just an honor. Thank you
I
so much
have
for
some
being...
equipment. Just help me fix it up.
Done.
Like, help me hook it up,
This
and
is,
then,
this is what we
I'll
do.
come do an annual thing on your thing.
Oh,
Oh, that'd be so
for
fun.
sure.
Oh my god.
And then we start doing a little party. We start doing a little party every year.
Oh, a little RuPaul. Yeah, a little RuPaul
Oh,
season
oh,
opener.
Oh my
yeah.
God, we could meet at DragCon.
Do you think we
That
could get
would
a
be-
spot?
Bring
We think
our
we could get a table?
channels to DragCon.
That would be, seriously, that'd be so fun. That would be,
Okay.
all right. Here,
the fucking
yeah,
list.
we're writing
my
it.
God.
We're writing it
Down.
down.
That would be
Writing it down.
incredible.
Now we need
On
your
the
son.
list.
We need your son to book us for DragCon
Yes,
as
I'm
well.
gonna be
Yeah.
like, Destin, we're gonna need you to book some drag. He's gonna be like, I'm sorry, what?
Oh my God.
We could probably do that. Our main, our big sponsor of our show is this store here called Evil Izzy's Haunted Emporium.
Nice.
Beautiful family-owned business
Oh, I
named
love
after their
it.
little daughter. She is adorable. They are wonderful.
It's
So
just like a little store. They sell like costumes and makeup and stuff.
Oh, that's great.
But they've started every once in a while they'll clear out the front of their store and they'll do open mics and
Right.
drag shows.
They
Oh,
put, They put a
nice.
Yeah,
stage up.
it's
and-
incredible.
So great. I
Oh
love that.
man, honestly,
That's my boy.
look,
Oh, he's so handsome.
That was his 21st birthday.
He's got that nice hair. That like,
Yeah.
that like Benedict
That's my
Cumberbatch
hair. Yeah.
That is
Yes,
gorgeous.
I was like, you're starting to look like those
Yeah. Look at him, and he's got that shy, like whatever, mom.
Yeah.
Look at you guys. Look how happy.
Yeah, that's my baby.
That makes me think of my mom, and now I'm getting all that. Oh my
He's
God.
like, go,
I gotta go and call mom. Mom, I just want to say I love you.
Tell your mama said hi and I want to give her a hug.
Okay.
She raised such a wonderful boy.
Pretty soon.
Seriously, I mean that's
One day my mom's gonna give my Rochelle Davis is gonna give a hug to my mom, and
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stand there and
The
try
biggest
and
hug.
just like.
You need to just keep bringing your parents to things to get hugs.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be like,
Love
oh
that.
mom, you're now my mom. By the way, I'm gonna be like, by the way, I don't want mine anymore, so now you're mine.
Oh, a big
And
family.
she's
she's
so
gonna be like,
honestly too, and just on a personal level, the way you were talking about like you always have a place. My parents are that for me.
See,
I'm
and it
blessed
feels
enough,
so good,
and
right?
I know I had a great upbringing. My parents sent me to private school, which I didn't like, but they sent me to public school after because they knew they care.
Yeah, you wanted to have a little of both.
They're
worlds,
not into
like,
horror. My dad a little bit, but like my parents or my mom especially, not at all. They're Christians.
Right.
They're very much
They
that
support
thing.
you and what you do, right?
But they come to my events when they can. They adore the fact that I'm doing this, and they're so proud, even if they don't necessarily care for the content that I do.
yeah,
And like the fact that throughout my entire life, they've given all my friends that maybe their dad abuses them, or
Right.
yeah, my stepmom
they
hates
kind of
me,
were a
and
safe haven
whatever.
for friends. That's
they
good.
they always had a guest room, and it's always been open to all my friends. I've had
That's so
6
sweet.
friends, 7 friends throughout my high school to now that have lived at my parents' house free of charge, mostly just to be like, look, you're not going to be on the street. You are going to be in this house. And my parents are just that, and they've instilled that into me. And like hearing you talk about it, and just like the way you're. Oh, it means a lot to me because I don't know maybe 2 people whose parents are still together.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to find.
And
So
my
it is a
parents-
beautiful thing. That's
Exactly.
a gorgeous,
And my
beautiful
parents,
thing.
30, almost 40 years together. And I'm
Incredible.
like, I just want to be like you guys. I don't
Yeah.
know how you do it.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out maybe, but like, I just
Yeah.
want to be like you.
But you
And,
know what?
oh,
You got the lessons. Like
Oh my
I
God.
believe I can do it, but I know it's going to be harder for me because I had such
Oh, yeah.
trauma crap that I saw growing up that wasn't
'Cause you didn't
good.
have help.
So I have to do it myself and be
Yes.
like, no, that's not
Yeah.
healthy, and like. But it's so great when you have that. Because instinctually you just know how to create that. You don't think you do.
No.
But you do because you lived it.
Right.
You lived right around it.
And
so like
someone
you're
like-
not going to create something terrible because that's not what you
No.
are used to.
Yeah.
And
So it'll
unlike
feel
I had my
weird to do
parents
that.
to help kind of be my support, and
Right.
you had to go, okay,
Yeah.
let's figure this
Yeah,
out.
all right,
and
yeah.
you rolled up your sleeves
Yep.
where it's like, but you still have the same.
But I
It's
still-
just beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's wonderful. And you tell your
Man.
mom I'm never going to move in with her, but I am expecting her to adopt me at some point.
You know what?
in the
My
Me
mom
too.
said the
Add
same
it to the
thing.
list.
She was like, I didn't move out till I was 27 because I just couldn't afford it. I just couldn't. I haven't gone back home yet. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, but hey,
But she's like,
that's
if you
good.
ever do, of course, you're staying here. No
course.
questions asked. You will always have a
Nothing.
home.
Yeah.
Oh,
I tell my son the same thing. I'm like, I don't care if you're in another country, another state, it doesn't matter. And you're like, I need you to send me this much money to get a train or whatever. I will drive to that
Yes.
place and come get
I
you
don't care
and
if I got a
make your
cardboard
bed
box
and-
under the
Yeah.
freeway. I will scoot over so you can slide right
That's
next
right.
to me.
That's right.
That is beautiful. Man, we just look at this. Look at this.
Look at this.
I just thought we were
It's
going to ask
all
some
love.
silly
It's
questions.
all love.
We started this with, I hope nobody farts on the podcast. And now we're all like
see
in
how,
tears. Like,
see how a fart can turn into something beautiful?
Yeah.
gorgeous. Well,
I think that's the lesson
Fart
here,
can
actually.
bring everybody
That's the
together.
real lesson we
Yeah.
all learned.
I
Everybody
think-
farts.
Because a fart can turn into something beautiful and sentimental and make us all cry. And not because it's stinky.
Not because you ate onions. It's fine.
Just because we are.
you guys, this has been amazing. And thank you so much, Rochelle, for being here.
Dude, yeah.
We're
Thank
honored
you
to have
again.
you on, and thank you for taking your time out and sharing all that with us. And I don't know, you guys got anything else? I'm just trying to drink it all in.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
All I know is you all better stay in touch with me.
Absolutely,
Oh,
yes.
God, yeah.
We're getting
Percent.
contact
Anytime
information
we're
after this.
ever at a con together, we're all getting together and recording again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was good
This is
chemistry.
part
man.
one.
It's good chemistry.
Effort.
Part one of how many we don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows where we're going to go, baby?
Cliffhanger.
Who knows? What are we going to do next?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say this, though. At least, can you get us in, like, maybe, like, the front 10 rows when you do your TED Talk eventually, when you
Oh,
get up on
yeah.
stage? Can we,
Oh,
like,
yeah, you know what?
just get, like, a little close?
We'll just put you right in the front. And that way your microphones can be right up there.
Can we throw
and-
popcorn at you?
Oh,
Hell
yeah.
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 Let's do
definitely.
it.
And then you're like,
And make funny
popcorn
faces
back.
at me when I'm making really big points. So I'm like,
oh my God.
Like, this
She's
was
like,
a
"Well,"
mistake.
And then my mother, she
this is a terrible mistake.
Like, why did I ever sit down
Well,
at
never
that
share
conference?
one.
right in the middle of your TED Talk. We're like, go.
All right, so we know Brian's not invited to the TED
Yeah,
Talk
okay,
when
so
you get
just
there.
so
Yeah, so
I'll stay at the
Tony and I will be
hotel.
on our best behavior at the TED Talk. We'll let Brian
That I
figure it
do
out.
believe.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
you're
you so
welcome.
much.
Thank
And
you guys.
yeah, just awesome. Thank you.
Definitely.
Hey, guys, guess what?
What?
Phobia Productions celebrating their 20th year of scares. Oh, that's right. Don't forget.
20 years of this?
20 years of scares. What? Phobia Production presents Deadwoods. Enter the town of Wild West Junction and find the meanest townsfolk around.
Ooh, I love that.
Will you get out alive or become the newest resident? Find out on October 30th through November 2nd on Route 66 in Williams, Arizona.
Wow. It's going down in Williams. Phobia is really
If
bringing
you
it.
need more information, just go to phobia1.com and check it out.